Hey everyone, PBTV here. So, I just watched this guy's review of RuneScape, the new RuneScape game Dragonwilds, and I swear, it sounds like he booted up a survival game and got personally offended that it was a survival game. So, this was posted by a person named Verlisify? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry if I messed that up. But I just want to go over this review and just break it down piece by piece because this is just bad.
Dragonwilds is an awful game. Indefensibly awful, and you can't even say, well, it's early access, you know, give it some time.
Indefensibly awful. Like, you cannot defend this game whatsoever, okay? It is just pure rotten to the core. Indefensibly bad. Great start to the review.
This is barely an alpha because magic and ranged aren't in the RuneScape game you pay $30 for.
You're actually wrong. It is in the game. You just haven't gotten far enough in to actually see it, which leads me to believe that you played this game for less than an hour, probably just got past the tutorial, and then started ragging on it.
This needed more time before coming out. It's so bare bones. It's so empty even outside of that. They put in the bare minimum and started selling us a beta game for it, when again, like, this isn't even alpha at this state.
It started in alpha in late 2024, and it's now in early access. The game, like, surprise released today. It's only been out a few hours, and this guy's like harshly critiquing the game, but let's continue watching the video.
I love my survival games if they actually have skills to them, and you progress, and you level up, and then you can get better at that. RuneScape is the perfect environment, but not when you have water, that you have like hydration and hunger.
So even though this game has exactly all those things that you just mentioned, because every other level you get an upgrade to your skill or something, you know, you progress throughout the game, you're complaining about the water and the hydration? How do the two correlate? How does that make any sense to you?
I guess hunger makes sense, but the hydration just doesn't, where they just slapped in the most generic survival aspects to where it doesn't even make sense. So I gotta sit here and eat in my RuneScape drink.
So you're complaining that there's a hydration system in the game. Have you ever played a survival game? Like, ever? Every survival game has these 3 bars that you see here. It sounds like this guy is really upset that he has to eat and drink in a survival game. That's the mechanic that absolutely pisses him off the most, which is hilarious.
You want to know how you get water? You mash buttons. Every time I press E, I get dirty water. So I can just do that, I guess, until I get encumbered.
Man, I wonder what his reaction would be if there was an animation for that. You had to, like, dip your, I don't know, bucket in and get water. Oh my god, that would absolutely break him.
If I want clean water, I gotta cook it. So then we can craft, we can put our dirty water in here, we can do that with the logs, and then now we're making water, guys. So to stay hydrated, this is how you do it.
Oh no! You have to boil dirty water to make clean water. What a tragedy. Oh my god. Like, isn't that how every other survival game works? You boil dirty water, and then you get clean water out of it? Is that such a crazy thing to grasp? I don't know.
Automatically cooking water. And it's giving me cooking experience for that.
Yeah, it's almost like you're boiling and cooking the water, and that's why you get cooking XP from it. Is this guy for real?
And I do this that way I can stay hydrated. So, like, the hydration just seems completely unnecessary.
It's a survival game. What did you expect?
Why even go through all of this hassle when it's RuneScape? Just give me the menu. Give me the menu from RuneScape so I can click and then I can craft or I can cook the thing. Instead, you just put in the items and it gives you the outputs.
Yeah, again, like any other survival game out there, you put a raw version of that thing in and it spits out the cooked version of that thing. What do you... Okay, alright.
And then you have to put in the wood to get those items. And that's the cooking skill. They couldn't just translate the game.
Are you dumb? Have you played RuneScape before? Like, you're whining about the cooking menus. Do you know how you cook food in RuneScape? You get logs, you make a fire, you get your raw food, and then you cook the raw food over the fire. This game adds one more step to it, and you have to put logs into... Wow. That's pretty much how every survival game works. What's the issue here? What are you yapping about, little bro?
Cooking experience, so, like, that's true to RuneScape. But what I hate most about survival games is when it's 2 stages. Like, I chop down the tree, and now I have to chop down the log to get more wood. And then it's a 3-stage, actually, because after chopping the big log chops into a smaller log.
Okay, I will give you that. Chopping down a tree and then having to cut it into smaller pieces can be really tedious. That's actually really fair, but let's not act like it invalidates the entire game.
And then down here, you might notice a resting system. Well, actually, you lose stamina if you don't rest enough. So this is how they kind of like get you to build a base and sleep or something. But it can also just be trivialized in very basic ways. I built a box with 3 corners, and that counts as a house.
So you're complaining that you need to rest to regen stamina, and that the game tries to encourage you to like build a shelter, a base of some sort, you know, like a survival game. Like, what do you expect? Do you just want like a 5-star hotel waiting at spawn? The whole point is to progress from like sticks and stones and then make yourself like a house or something. Resting isn't a punishment. It's pacing. The shelter's safety. That's how the genre works. So, again, have you ever played a survival game?
And then the stamina bar just kills everything. Just because you have a survival game doesn't mean you have to have a stamina bar. You just balance around it. Like, okay, maybe the stamina only matters for dodge rolling, but not limiting the amount of trees I can cut or the amount of attacks I can perform just to arbitrarily make the combat annoying and tedious.
You're crying about the stamina system, but here's the thing. It regens so fast when you're not in combat. Like, by the time it took you to chop down that other tree and walk to this rock right here, your stamina bar already filled up. I don't think the game's trying to hinder your progress.
Rock Explosion is also just way better. Cause like, I just drop this down and then we blow up a lot of rocks. And now we don't have to worry about rocks for a long time.
Alright, that was a really cool spell. I like that a lot. That was really cool.
And the tutorial NPCs pissed me off even more because they just went, hey, pick stick up off ground. Hey, pick rock up off ground. Now use that to make stone tools, and then use that to do the things, to build the things, to get your crafting table. So it's just like the most formality survival crafter, when instead of talking to them, they can't just be like, oh, here's a kit.
Since you're such an expert on RuneScape, can you remind me how you start RuneScape again? You know, like when you start off on Tutorial Island, where the NPCs kind of held your hand through everything. They told you, like, mine this, you mine ore and tin, then you smelt that, then you make a weapon. It's kind of the same thing, it's just with a survival twist to it.
Can we just skip the first 15 minutes of every survival game now where you talk to the NPC and it's not a tutorial picking sticks off the ground?
Oh, gotcha. So you pretty much just want everything handed to you. Bro immediately like wants a 5-star hotel at spawn and like wants a full set of mithril armor. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. There's supposed to be progression.
Hey, here's a kit of axe, pickaxe, and like your first starter weapon, and you can still learn how to craft. But I don't need to pick sticks off the ground to just start hammering trees.
Yeah, that pretty much told me everything I needed to know. He literally said he wants a kit. Okay.
That's why Minecraft is so successful. I can punch trees immediately.
Okay, I know you did not compare this game to Minecraft, but let's go ahead and take your stupid ass analogy. In Minecraft, you punch trees, you get sticks from them, then you make wood tools, then you break rocks, and you make cobblestone tools. That's the first 13 minutes of the game, give or take. Maybe 10. Again, it just sounds like you hate survival games, and you just picked out a survival game to hate on. Like, who's this review for?
The controls are unacceptable. This is not proximity pickup. I'm standing over the item. Pressing E does nothing. It's one of those games where you have to look at it to pick it up. That's the worst.
It's one of those games. You can hear it in his voice. It's one of those games. Remind me again, didn't you automatically pick up all those rocks and wood and the water that you boiled earlier? He's mad that you have to pick up a few sticks and rocks, guys.
And it also upsets me because, like, do we need a survival world? Because RuneScape is just a survival game. That if you leave Varrock to the south, you get dissolved by wizards. If you're just out and about, something high level can jump you, and it's actually threatening, or there's just enemies around. So why couldn't have this just been a Gilnor adventure?
So you're mad that the game doesn't take place in Gilnor. And while I do get the nostalgia, do we really want to keep exploring the same world we've been exploring since 2001? Like, I'd love to see the map remade someday. I think that would be awesome. I would love to see, like, Lumpy up close. I would love to, like, walk to Varrock or, you know, go through all that. I think that would be awesome. But I think a new part of the world is better. It's just a fresh chapter, you know? It's not a remaster of RuneScape. It's a new game, guys.
And because there's no NPCs, because there's no civilization, there's no currency. So there's nothing like grind money off of and then use that to buy things. So I'm just playing a survival crafter that isn't even reskinned RuneScape. Where's Bob's axes? Where's just like the most basic starter stuff? This is why we're like, we at least need a starting town. We call for help and we at least get like a small little settlement going that uses currency. That doesn't have to be a pure, you're on your own survival game.
Bro's upset that there's no grand exchange in the game. He's upset that there's no shops, you can't buy tools. You know, he's really upset that you can't be handed like the most powerful stuff in the game right away. Yeah, it's a survival game. Not like just to walk into a mall and swipe your loyalty card and get everything. That's kind of the point of a survival game.
And the combat is a mix of like kind of feels fun RuneScape where it's like, yeah, I like just being able to mash on things and then like grind super low level things. Like hitting chickens is the most fun I've had in this game, as sad as it is. And then like this, like, okay, cool, it just costs too much stamina to do anything. How did Jagex not just make RuneScape survival? I've lost all faith in Jagex as a company.
And I've lost all faith in you to put out a competent review of a game you probably have like 30 minutes in. Anyways, so again, this also ties back into your issue with whining about stamina. When you start leveling up, it drains less stamina. It's such a wild concept. It's almost like the game is built around, you know, progression. That's insane, right guys? Crazy.
Everything about the game is infuriating like that. That you kill a goblin, you get a goblin pack. So you don't just get the loot. And it takes this long to loot each individual item from the goblin.
So I will agree that that is pretty lame, having to click the sack over and over again. However, didn't you just automatically pick all those up off the ground? You didn't have to look down and press E? Weird.
The quest completion just feels so incomplete. And then, like, tells you to just do things over here on the map.
Isn't that like most quests in RuneScape? You look at the quest log and it tells you where to go on the map and then you go there? Or most games with the quest system, for that matter?
Why can't I talk to a merchant and then sell my things and use that to buy other things?
Because it's a survival game.
Again, like, they did, like, sure, this is a survival game. This is RuneScape survival game. But why not just make your 3D RuneScape game?
Bro literally spelled it out for you. He's like, yeah, I get that it's a survival game, but why can't it be my RuneScape game?
And I can build a house wherever I want. I can still have all the skills interact. But again, like, no agility. I can't just, like, make my stamina better. I have to kind of get forced through the struggles of this game.
Forced through the struggles of this game? You mean, like, progress through it? Like, start off naked and then work your way up to something stronger? That's a weird concept. I don't think any game has done that before.
Or like, okay, I do a couple of attacks. Oh, I ran. Actually, I'm just dead here. Like, okay, I can dodge attacks. I guess I need to back up to get all my stamina. Parry. Okay, cool. Like, parrying in RuneScape just doesn't feel correct.
Because it's a survival game, and they want the combat to be more engaging. Bro's really expecting you to just right-click someone and just have your guy walk up and start smacking them. Just go play RuneScape at this point. Like, you're just yapping about the game.
We're not at the point of, like, bronze smelting immediately, even though bronze is level 1. I can just kind of kit out in bronze or iron and just kind of, like, tank all these dudes. And also, like, okay, these things hurts. Like, getting hit is way too punishing. Stamina is also way too punishing. And it's like, this is rough. Yeah, sure, I can do this combat encounter better, but I don't want to.
I could do this combat encounter better, but I don't want to. Wow. Okay. My brother in Christ, you're just sitting there spamming buttons and ignoring the parry system. If I were you, I would steer clear of any FromSoft game ever, because you are going to have an absolute stroke, my friend.
How much health does a chicken heal? Also, it takes so long to eat, and I don't heal any health from a chicken. This isn't RuneScape. Why has my health not gone up? I am 15 combat.
Your health is going up right now. What are you talking about?
And my health meter hasn't gone up. I'm just at 100 health. From level 1, you put a chicken on the thing, and then you get it, and you eat it, and it gives you 2 health. So if we're playing by 100, it should give me 20 health instantly to eat a chicken. Not because, like, oh, we have this resting system, and this food system, and this stamina system. Like, they could have just made it RuneScape. They didn't.
They could have just made it RuneScape. You do realize that the game was advertised as a survival game, right? Like, it literally says on the Steam page right there, gather, build, skill, and craft to survive in this co-op survival crafting game. Did you not read it? Did you just go, oh, RuneScape, $30, and then you just bought it and then wrote this awful critique on it?
It's actually just an awful generic survival crafter that has nothing interesting about it, that just feels frustrating the entire time.
So I'm going to save you all from like the 3-minute tangent he went on about the character creator. It's not really that bad. It's nothing to write home about. And arguably, yeah, he is right in the sense of it's less than what we have in normal RuneScape, but I feel like he focused on, again, you're just nitpicking.
And the thing is, I see this version of the game being decent in the future with like a completed state, but they just like need to start over from this pre-alpha state and make it like RuneScape. If they made it like RuneScape and then fleshed it out, incredible game, everyone wants to play, this just sucks.
Oh, no, watch out, guys. He's slamming his desk, okay? Whoa. he's serious about this. He really wants RuneScape. Just Jagex, just scrap the entire game, right? And just remake RuneScape with this new engine. And just it'll satisfy this one guy's really awful opinion. Honestly, this review is just a guy who doesn't even like survival games playing a survival game and being surprised it didn't play like RuneScape, which is just insane to me. And instead of learning the systems or like trying to understand the game, he put an hour into it and then he immediately went, oh, I hate this. And then he makes a video dunking on it because it didn't hand everything to him. Edit. For all the idiots out there, survival is my favorite genre of games. Oh, you could have fooled me, buddy. You could have fooled me. Not one thing you said was an actual big deal. True. He just listed off a survival game and ragged on a survival game for being a survival game. If you wanted OG RuneScape, go play RuneScape. My thoughts exactly. Bro, you sound disappointed as me finding out that Halo Wars wasn't a shooter. My guy, if you just want to play RuneScape, then play RuneScape and don't play Dragonwilds, which is a survival RuneScape game. True. It sounds like most people in the comments are ragging on you for this awful review. So this comment right here is my thoughts exactly. It just sounds like he played for an hour and then made a really bad video on the game. And his response was, you're right, I can only know if I like sounding, which, if you know, you know. If I make it 3 inches deep instead of quitting it too. That stupid comparison, but okay. So you want the game to spoon feed you like the typical lazy gamer you are. That's kind of what it felt like. So surely after playing the game for an hour and, you know, formulating your own opinion, I'm pretty sure this guy has absolutely S-tier, God-tier takes, so let's go to his channel. Alright, I see the delusion that I'm dealing with here. Oh boy. So while I was critiquing this guy's quote-unquote review, it seems that he dropped a new video not too long ago, so let's go ahead and watch this and also see what he has to say. I guess having one bad take wasn't enough for this guy, so let's go ahead and see this video and see how he justifies a really awful review.
Of the amount of fake gamers that actually like RuneScape Wilds.
If you like RuneScape Wilds, boys, you're a fake gamer, according to Verlisify here. Okay, this video is already off to a really strong start.
I thought everyone was going to be on the same page that this is a bad survival game.
You expecting everyone to be on the same page is very optimistic of you. Clearly your opinion just should be held in the highest esteem. No one should disagree with you. Everyone should just be on the same page like, yeah, this game sucks because Verlisify said it sucks.
But no, being critical of a survival game means you hate survival games, even though this is the worst implementation of survival game elements. It's impossible to me that an actual human can watch my video and think, oh, you've just never played a survival game before, or you don't like survival games, especially because it's my favorite genre of game.
I mean, you could have fooled me. The way you were talking about it, it sounded like you hate survival games and you picked up a survival game to rag on it. That's how bad of an impression your first review was. It was pretty bad.
Just because I don't like pointless hydration mechanics in a game where it's completely unnecessary and poorly implemented doesn't mean I don't like survival mechanics.
It's a hydration system. It's in almost every survival game that's out there. Like, what? Again, you say shit like this and it makes it sound like you've never touched a survival game in your life. It's not poorly implemented, it's implemented like how every other survival game has it.
That's also like the weird thing about these toxic fake gamers.
Toxic fake game guys, if you disagree with him, right? If you disagree with any points you have with him, you're a toxic fake gamer. I love the doubling down on that. That's insane.
That's how fake gaming culture has gotten, and somehow people actually like enjoy this game. And if you do, it's like, I feel sorry for you. You've actually never played games before. That's crazy.
That's crazy, guys. If you enjoyed this game, you're a fake gamer and you've never touched a game before. That's crazy. Do you realize how dumb you sound?
This guy even went, yo, sick, quests. And then it's just, oh, pick up a stick, pick up a stone. And that's a good point. The quests...
Are you dumb?
The quests aren't anything like RuneScape. It's just generic survival crafter. Here's an objective that gets...
Say it with me now. You bought a survival game. It says it on the store page. It's a survival game. It's not an RPG. It's not an MMO. You bought a survival game. When I picked up this game, I didn't think it would have in-depth quests like OG RuneScape has, but I was still satisfied with how the game plays.
Sounds like you expected this game to be purely RuneScape. Well, I mean, that's what a lot of people want. A lot of people want third-person, more realistic RuneScape, and the game would objectively be better for it.
Yeah, but that's not what they promised. That's not what was advertised. When you go to the store page, and you look at the game, and you look at the description, it says a survival game with a RuneScape spin to it. Almost like a spin-off. Oh, crazy.
Like, that is the game Jagex should have made, or at least should have tried to put more into. There is so little about this that's RuneScape. Again, the name is only there just to sell titles to these fake gamers.
These fake gamers.
Go play RuneScape if that's what you're looking for in the game, directly titled RuneScape, trying to have kind of like similar elements, especially with the rune crafting. They don't do anything to make it work like the original games in an interesting way.
These comments are absolutely right. It's like you're critiquing the game for being a survival when you just want to play RuneScape. Just go play RuneScape at that point.
So they say like, oh, I've never played survival games, or I don't like survival games. And like, these kids have no idea what I'm talking about. Actually, I need to take more offense to those comments saying I don't like survival games. I have over 1,000 hours in Tree of Life, and I played the PAX Day early access. I played like 10 hours a day for 2 weeks, and I'm letting brats that have never played a survival game get to me. That's why they get to me, because of how wrong they are. Like, impossibly stupidly wrong.
That's right, guys. He's an absolute expert on survival games. If you disagree with him, you are just wrong. This guy's having an emotional tantrum over a few comments on YouTube. That's funny.
So, objectively, I'm more qualified to be critical of a bad survival game like the RuneScape one. This is 95% Valheim with a Jagex dev that just farted a little bit of RuneScape on it. That doesn't make a good or an interesting game. Doric tells you to pick up some sticks and twigs and then to make something to start gathering resources. The next quest giver, even though it's like more tutorial stuff, but the next guy, Vanica, rewards you with a hatchet. That's just horrible game design. Instead of, hey, here's an axe, go and chop down the tree yourself. If you need to make a new one, it's in your crafting bench. That's all you have to do to make a good game. Save the 15 minutes of tedious garbage that no one needs in 2025.
Again, he's mad that things aren't handed to you, and he's mad that the game explains to you how to craft stuff.
The little quality of life things that Palworld did are why it's just a much better game, where it's like, I can punch the trees and the rocks. Same with Minecraft. That's why it's also the biggest game ever, because I don't have this arbitrary nonsense just like stopping my progression or making everything just a little bit annoying just because it's a survival game.
Wow. That is an extra layer of stupid I'm not even going to touch. Since you brought up Minecraft, I'm just going to go ahead and say that there is kind of an arbitrary roadblock. You need to make stone tools in order to get iron tools, in order to get diamond tools, and then upgrade to netherite. Because you can't just go ahead and mine diamond from like a stone or wood pickaxe. There's still that roadblock.
Oh, gotta drink my clean water that absolutely doesn't need to exist. I don't need to have in this game, especially for RuneScape.
It's a survival game, buddy.
I've seen a lot of comments of people saying, oh, this guy doesn't understand how early access works, when, again, I've played tons of early access games, and Palworld is my favorite right now. So here's what we have to compare the $30 early access RuneScape game to Palworld, a $30 game that has 100 times more content inside of it and just better gameplay.
Again, why are we comparing Palworld to RuneScape Dragonwilds? What, because they're both survival games? You can immediately compare the two? That makes no sense.
Both are early access survival games. Which way, Western gamer?
Yeah, they're both early access games, but Palworld has had probably a 1.5 year jump on development time.
And that's another reason why I can't take these kids seriously. They defend the hydration system in the RuneScape survival game. just cuz. And if you don't like it, that means you hate survival games. It can't be defended. It's a gameplay element that has no reason to be in there, that brings absolutely literally nothing to the gameplay and doesn't make the game any more better or interesting in any way.
Yeah, pretty much most survival games, if not all of them, have hydration, food, and some form of stamina. It kind of comes with the genre. I don't know why you're so fixated on the whole hydration system thing. Like, do you really want to die on this hill? It makes you look really dumb.
And that's how I know all these kids are fake gamers.
Oh, fake gamers, guys. You're a fake gamer. Doubling down on the tantrum.
Also, why is RuneScape in the name where the tiered system doesn't make sense? Like, if you want to take a lot longer and use a bronze axe on an oak tree, you are free to do that in RuneScape. This is just the garbage survival crafting of gotta make the tier 1 to get the tier 2 resources, and then you use that to make the tier 2 axe to get the tier 2 resources, to make the tier 3 axe to get the tier 3 resources, until the devs just decide it's been long enough.
Again, your comparisons are really dumb. It's like, you still need to upgrade your axes in RuneScape to cut down bigger and more powerful trees. You get stronger tools to cut down the stronger things, and that's kind of the gameplay loop. Am I crazy? Am I crazy, or is this guy really dumb?
That's when you have, level 10 smithing, but this game just released in such an not released, but got published, launched in an unfinished state to where...
It's a survival game in alpha that you saw on the store page and still spent $30 on.
Like, there's no interplay between the skills, except for, I guess, the magic system, but this is also what pissed me off. It's like, how can people defend this? We're like, okay...
Didn't you praise the magic system in your last video? And now you're ragging on it?
You can actually, use spells and stuff to have that, and the spells also help with your crafting. So, 20% of this game is what you want out of a RuneScape game, and the rest of it's terrible. That still means, oh, I don't have the upgraded axe. So my magic axe just doesn't work.
Yeah, did you expect the axe to just break everything in its path? Like all the tree types in its path?
Sorry for expecting a survival game in 2025 to do a single thing interesting or innovative. These are the people that have actually never played a survival game. They've watched other people play Valheim, and then they insult you for not being as hardcore as them.
Dude, just huffing an entire can of copium right now. It's insane.
Here's how everything I've said about these idiots is valid, and I actually don't have the wrong take here. Bro, they can't help it if you don't know how to read and you don't know what an alpha is, as this is a beta. This isn't even a beta. This is a beta game with the earliest alpha. This is Valheim alpha.
This is a beta game with the earliest alpha. And again, you're comparing it to Valheim again.
And I'm not allowed to be upset about that, or else I just hate survival games apparently. It's your fault that you didn't read that the game would be missing features. I would expect that all combat is at least functioning. Yeah, apparently if you go further, you can craft a bow and a staff, and there's magic and range. But
so you didn't even get that far before critiquing the combat of the game. Again, you played the game for an hour. You're like, oh, this sucks. Even though that's, you're supposed to progress through the game. Progression. Crazy idea. And then you just bitched and moaned the whole time.
But what an embarrassment. That's an objective embarrassment to call your game a beta. That's why I'm just like, okay, Jagex just sucks. They copied Valheim, they put the RuneScape bot with the green clothing over it, and then they just charged $30 and called it a day.
Why do you keep calling it a bot? That's the noob. That's the default skin that you get when you boot up RuneScape. As me and my friends like to call it Baldy, but okay. Apparently it's just the bot.
That's unacceptable, and I don't understand how any of these people can try to defend it, or pretend it's anything else.
You've been comparing this game for the past, I don't know how long, 40 minutes to Valheim and Palworld.
From the very start of the game. Just can't have that. In Check's notes again.
I like how bro died in the middle of his little tangent and rambling.
Because Jagex is so shameless, they just call them stone tools. They haven't even tried to bring anything, not a single thing new, to the survival genre.
He's really upset that they don't call stone tools bronze or something. Weren't you crying and complaining about not having stuff handed to you? Look.
Base game already has it all built and established.
Look, bro picked that up and he got kitted immediately.
And again, I don't understand how these fake gamers can defend the whole water collecting and crafting loop, where it's bro, why does my crafting interface look like this for the RuneScape game?
Again, why do you keep going back to the crafting menu?
I have to just spend the time. Like, this is not good gameplay design. This is not me hating survival games.
This is you bitching and crying about survival games. This is how I know you probably put like 5 minutes into OG RuneScape, because you have to go through a lengthy process to cook it, and sometimes you wouldn't even get the food. It would come out burnt if you were a low enough level. So I don't know where he's going with this.
And then go over here for a hydration system that doesn't need to exist. Like, cool. This slot is always taken up by whatever potion or thing, because this is a low hydration source, but like, okay, a medium or a high hydration source. I now just need one of these forever that takes a little bit of crafting that doesn't need to exist, and I can just cook water and get experience for it. This gameplay experience by just cooking water for like my main experience loop or grind. That's definitely how games are supposed to work.
I swear, he talks like he's played RuneScape for maybe 10 minutes. Like, that's the entire RuneScape grind, is you doing the same thing over and over again, and you get slightly stronger.
That's what I mean. Like, all these idiots are wrong. I'm right. That has nothing to do with me. Like, they couldn't wait a week to put in a magic and range skill tree when the skill trees don't like, bro, someone could make this in 5 minutes. Like, from the time the game launched to now, there could have just been like a patch that actually puts it in, because this is what the skill tree looks like. So there's very few skills and like nothing to develop.
It's almost like the game is still in development, early access, if you will. It's almost like they're still working on the game.
And then people saying, oh, you're just finding things to complain about. You gotta make it further before making a video. That's right, guys. The show, don't worry, the show gets good after Season 3. But after 10 hours of gameplay, it goes from 95% Valheim to 90% Valheim. And then you're really enjoying it for reals. I'm a real gamer, and I actually play video games. Trust.
I love how he's doubling down on the whole, like, fake gamer thing. Like, that just completely destroys your credibility, and you come off as really dumb and elitist when you say shit like that. It's just, I can't take you seriously when you're, oh, fake gamers. Oh, I'm a real gamer. You sound dumb. Stop.
It is kind of annoying that people are like, oh, you just want everything to be like easy and super quick. It's like, well, I do want progression to be slower, kind of like RuneScape. Hey, here's a kit of axe, pickaxe, and like your first starter weapon. The reason why I'm so upset is because of how much potential is just kind of wasted with the idea, and how much these idiots are supporting it. Go play RuneScape, but no, people want the 3D RuneScape, and then it's like, oh,
okay, but 3D RuneScape wasn't advertised to you. Jagex didn't come out and say, hey guys, we're taking RuneScape and we're porting it in 3D. No, they advertised it as a survival game in a different world.
It would also be really sick if construction was actually like construction. You like build your home. Like, that would be cool if you actually summoned a portal. Kind of like how you can summon a portal at any time in Path of Exile. Where it's like, I summon a portal to my base anywhere in the world.
Oh my god, you're so out of touch with the survival genre. I can't believe you've actually played a survival game before.
It just feels like no one actually played or tested this game and went, yeah, we could have actually changed a couple of things and made it enjoyable. At no point did anyone developing or testing this game go, hey, maybe we should try to make this better than Valheim? Or it's actually that meme where that dude got tossed out of the office window, and now we got this indefensible game. Cool. I hate it.
So, in conclusion to this guy, if you don't like the game, you're a fake gamer, and apparently you've never touched a game in your life. Okay. Awesome. Great review. Awesome.